Good evening, everybody out there in Facebook and YouTube land. But more importantly, good evening, Pontiac. We are here today because I am absolutely ecstatic for us to be able to present to you an event that is something that is absolutely priceless and is so necessary for the community of Pontiac. Because tonight, we're going to go ahead and celebrate our true, absolute Pontiac treasures. I'm talking about our Pontiac legends. I'm talking about the individuals who wouldn't blaze trails for all of us. Individuals like myself and so many other people that are out there rolling up their sleeves and grinding in the community of Pontiac to make a difference. Not only for our community, but for the world as a whole. And that is what we're here to celebrate tonight. And I am beyond ecstatic from this standpoint, too. We saw the importance of making sure that we want to go and preserve Black history. Black history is something that has disappeared in so many different ways in the schools, as well as in the community as a whole. But it's one thing to go ahead and talk about national Black history, but it's another thing for us to go ahead and overlook the historic figures that we have lying right here in the community of Pontiac. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do today. We're going to celebrate the individuals that have put it all on the line before they left and departed this world. You know, our posthumous awards, which is what we named our awards after. And then we're going to go and celebrate the living, breathing legends that are still here today. The ones that are still walking the street. Some of us know about them because they touched all of our lives. And the group of people that we're celebrating tonight is absolutely exceptional. So when you hear and see them, I know all of you are going to go ahead and make sure you do everything in your power to let them know how much you appreciate them with your comments, with your words. And even if you're at home and even you don't think someone can see, you need to go ahead and get up, stand up, cheer, clap, whatever it is to go ahead and let them know. I need positive energy flowing all through this broadcast tonight to let these individuals know how much they meant to so many of us, and how much they're going to go ahead and how much their work is going to never be forgotten. So, on behalf of myself and the Ascend Foundation, on behalf of State Representative Brenda Carter, and on behalf of H. Bill Maxie and ACES Veteran Services, we are proud to present to you this evening our second annual Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration, where we're going to go ahead and make sure that Pontiac, you're going to understand and you're going to feel us. If you're from Pontiac, I want you to go ahead and be proud of it. If you're not from Pontiac, you're going to feel us this evening. So with that being said, it's time for us to go ahead and get going with the program. So who other to go ahead and bring out to kick us off than an absolute powerhouse coming from the walls of Pontiac, who's been putting in work on a regular basis over on the county level. And she's been grinding, and she's putting it on the line to make sure from a county side, we're going to get everything that Pontiac deserves and so much more. So without further ado, I want you to go ahead and put your hands together for the one, the only, the incredible Oakland County Commissioner, Angela Powell. Take it away, Angela.
Thank you so much, Kano Phillips. That was a great introduction. Truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. But today we're here to talk about your great event. This event is titled the Second Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers, a Black History Virtual Celebration. And it's put together by Ascend Foundation, Kano Phillips, State Representative Brenda Carter, and also Bill Maxie, who is with ACES Veteran Services. Those three entities and individuals has come together to put this great event on. And this event is to honor a lot of individuals who've done a lot of work for the city of Pontiac over the years. And guess what? We have not recognized them. So what better way than to do it right now? Now, in order for you to get this Legend or Trailblazer Award, you had to provide 35 years or more of community service helping the citizens here in the city of Pontiac, youth and citizens, let me correct that. And all of the awards are titled in respect of past legends who have passed along. So what greater way for us to honor these honorees, which a couple of them are people who are part of my life today, right now, still mentoring me. One, Maddie McKinney Hatchett. You all know, everybody knows, she's been a mentor of mine for years. Pastor Douglas Jones, my community service started under him at Greater Pontiac Community Coalition. Mr. John Brown was one of my principals, and still to this day I can call him and he will advise me on anything I need to know. And Kenny Core always was in the trenches with the youth, supporting this community. So guess what? I'm a product of all those individuals, and it's so wonderful. Oh, and I forgot, Mr. Jimmy King. I was one of his athletes, and in the school district, he was one of them leaders that made sure all the kids worked together. So thank you all for everything, the honorees that you've done for me, and thank you for all the continued work you have done over the past for the city of Pontiac. So you all hold your seats. We got a great event to watch, and tonight we celebrate greatness.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Powell, for your words and everything that you've been doing on behalf of Pontiac over on that county level. Just fighting your tail off to make sure Pontiac's going to get everything that we deserve. So I appreciate you for that. But next we have, that's going to be gracing your computer screen this evening, is none other than the mayor of Pontiac. We're talking about a gentleman that's been putting on the line on a county level, state level, and now we just brought it back home to Pontiac to go ahead and make sure this city is going to be in great hands. I'm talking about somebody that I hope you all know, but if you don't, allow me to introduce you to him this evening. I want to go ahead and bring next to your computer screen the one, the only, Mayor of Pontiac, Mr. Tim Greimel. Take it away, Mayor.
Good evening, Pontiac, and thank you so much for that warm introduction, Kano. Really appreciate you and the amazing work that you do. It's great to be with all of you virtually tonight. I want to begin by thanking Kano Phillips and the Ascend Foundation, as well as our state representative, Brenda Carter, and of course, Bill Maxie and ACES Veteran Services for their sponsorship of tonight's event. But I also just want to congratulate all of the amazing award recipients this evening. This event is a great way to pay homage to some of our legendary historical figures here in the city, and I compliment Kano for naming the awards after such legendary figures, people ranging from the Jones brothers to Charlie Harrison and lots of other prominent heroes in between. But it's also really important that we recognize today's heroes, and that's why I wanted to be a part of this, just to thank from the bottom of my heart all of tonight's award recipients, congratulate you on these well-deserved awards. All of you, and so many like you all across our community, are the true pillars who lift up our residents and work hard day in and day out to fight for a better, more prosperous future for all of our city's citizens. So congratulations again to tonight's award recipients. Thank you all for everything you do for our great city, and I know that by working together, we will continue to make Pontiac a great place to work, live, and raise a family. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mayor Greimel, for you accepting the challenge to go ahead and lead us into the next 4 years. And thank you so much for your words and understanding the importance of why this event needs to take place this evening. So I appreciate you and we salute you. Next, we have an absolute legend. We're talking about someone who's given us over 55 years of service to the community of Pontiac within itself. We're talking about someone who's going to go and put it on the line for our senior citizens. We're talking about someone who's going to go ahead and roll up his sleeves and fight tooth and nail for our veterans. We're talking about someone who's going to make sure that the younger generation, individuals like myself, is going to be pushed in the right path so that we can go ahead and become successful, so we can go ahead and reach back and give our heart, body, and soul to them. So with that being the case, I want to go ahead and take this opportunity now to introduce you to the actual living legend himself. He's going to come here and give you a few words, and it's also 1/3 of the reason why we're here this evening. I'm talking about none other than the legendary Mr. Bill Maxie. Take it away, Mr. Maxie.
Thank you, Jefferson Kano. Mr. and Mrs. Pontiac, we're very glad. The Ascend Foundation and the State of Michigan representatives, Carter and Bill Maxie of the Military Art Museum. We are very proud to participate. And this is our second year again. And we introduce a coalition of people. You might only see 2 or 3 of us, but it took a lot of work to put this together. And recognizing that the energies that we have, recognizing the faith, the intestinal fortitude, the commitment, and above all, the discipline that we have to let people know in Pontiac that we're not a dot on a map. We are a tree on the map. And we have branches that grows and produce some of the greatest legendaries from our adolescents to our seniors. And since we are recognizing our seniors, is so many that we could. It's not a matter of pick and choosing. It's a matter of speaking on who you can, when you can, and how you can. I am very pleased. I'm very proud to, again, as I said, to be the second year, and we will be here in 2023. In fact, we're already planning on 2023. Thank you very much for taking time out to watch this tremendous program, the Apex of Effervescence, with our seniors, our legendaries of the city of Pontiac, the seat of the county. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maxie, for everything that you've done for the community of Pontiac. And thank you for giving us the blueprint of how we're supposed to go ahead and look to move as we go ahead and start finding our footing to make sure the community of Pontiac is going to be in a better place. But with all that being put on the table, next I have someone who's been absolutely iconic for the community of Pontiac. I'm talking about a woman who's given her heart, body, and soul to the children of this community for generations. I'm talking about decades of work through the Parks and Recreation Department and through a multitude of artistic programs. I'm talking about the woman that you can find right now, right on MLK Boulevard every summer over in Murphy Park. A woman that is constantly making sure that children are going to be cared for. So it is with the greatest honor that I bring to you on your computer screen this evening, the woman herself, the legendary Miss Portia Phillips-Anderson, as she comes to give you some historic words on the community of Pontiac. Take it away, Miss Phillips-Anderson.
Thank you, Kano, for that, for allowing me to talk about good things from good people. There are people in Pontiac that are forgotten trailblazers, unsung heroes. The older we get, the harder it is to remember because we have so much more knowledge crowding our mind. Historical moments being created all of the time. And the younger you are, you only know about those trailblazers if you are told about them. You wouldn't know about FEC, the woman who started adult women's softball. Why is that important? She was black and a woman, a real force in women's sports. I'm told she was quite the athlete in many more sports. If not her, then who and when? She opened doors to young girls' minds to pursue non-traditional pathways. Vivian Fisher was a contender for the Olympics team in shot put because someone turned on a new light for her. A girl? Shot put? Her dream, which started at Pontiac Central, Michigan State University, and Texas Southern. And what do you know about the woman that smoked cigars? Yes, that was Marie Johnson, a bail bondswoman, a community activist, and one of the organizers of the, back in the day, POOBY, the Pontiac Organization of Black Youth, from which we end up with Pontiac greats such as former Mayor Walter Moore, former Deputy Mayor Emmett Elliott, former State Representative Hubert Price, Kenny Walker, Alex Shorter, a city department head over community services and personnel, and many more. The voice of Pontiac was from Esmo Woods, who has written 2 books about Pontiac history. You can find those in your library. And there was Clay Jones, who was with housing and the Pontiac Silverdome. He was someone who helped guide young men in Pontiac. He was good friends with Milton Henry, one of Kano's heroes. Great athletes like gold medalist Hayes Jones and NBA greats Campy Russell and Frank Russell. And don't forget the ASA Hall of Famer Percy McConnor. There were great mentors like Bobby Kaiser and Roy White, educators Odell Nels, superintendent of Pontiac schools. Some of you may or may not know about Anna Baker Lane, the first black librarian in Oakland County and beyond. Her brother Joe was the first black department head over personnel. There are many more, such as Charlie Adams, who's a steward of young people, that I can't not mention. There's not enough time, but all worthy of our memories. So, young people, who of you will be added to this list as there are still more trails to blaze? Kano, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for a woman that means the absolute world to me and is a true Pontiac legend herself, Miss Portia Phillips-Anderson. Put your hands together. But next, I have the honor of bringing to your computer screen one of our featured speakers this evening. I'm talking about a man who has quite a legacy of his own. I'm talking about a gentleman who actually comes from the household of a public servant as well as an educator. I'm talking about a gentleman who actually took his educational endeavors to Michigan State University, where he joined Michigan State's football team, only to become a 3-year starter with the Spartans, and then going on to become the captain of the team in his senior year. After graduating from Michigan State University, he ended up joining the National Football League, where he played with the St. Louis Rams, the Jacksonville Jaguars, as well as the Atlanta Falcons. And after his time in the NFL, to go ahead and take it even further, he took his skill sets over to the Armed Forces, where he joined the United States Marine Corps. And from there, he did 2 tours over in Afghanistan. After coming back from Afghanistan, he even decided, I need to go ahead and get a little bit more education underneath my belt. So he ended up going to the University of Michigan, where he ended up getting his master's degree. And after all of that, he decided, well, it's time for me to go ahead and truly make my gifts count. So he decided to go ahead and run for the position that he holds right now. I'm talking about none other than one incredible individual. I'm talking about the one and only State Representative Joe Tate. I need you to please put your hands together and give a good, warm Pontiac welcome to State Representative Tate as he comes to take the computer screen this evening. Put your hands together, Pontiac.
Kano, thank you so much for that introduction. I had no idea that you were going to dig as deep into my life journey as you did, but I stand humbled by the journey traveled. I'm still carving my niche with every walking minute. I still have so much work to do, so stay tuned. To the community of Pontiac and all viewing, I would like to thank State Representative Brenda Carter, the Ascend Foundation, and Kano Phillips, as well as Bill Maxie and ACES Veteran Services for inviting me to speak today at the 2nd Annual Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration. Thank you again for inviting me to speak on the importance of Black history in our state. Black trailblazers have played a central role in Michigan. It was a gateway to freedom for many using the Underground Railroad to escape slavery. Malcolm X spent some time, his early life, in Michigan before becoming the legendary activist we know today. Albert Wheeler fought for Black equality in science and medicine education at the University of Michigan. Think of how different music would be without Motown. And I know I wouldn't be speaking with you all today if William Webb Ferguson didn't become the first Black person to walk through the chamber at the Michigan House of Representatives. Many Black Michiganders fought for equity and equality even before the Civil Rights Movement. They fought against police brutality, housing discrimination, and voting barriers. Black people have put a stamp on Michigan's science, sports, medicine, and culture. But much of what people only hear are the stories of racism and slavery, not the levels of Black achievement and contributions in spite of adversity. That is why events like these and Black History Month as a whole are important. Many of these achievements and contributions have been forgotten in our state's narrative. This is why I salute the Ascend and Representative Carter, as well as the community of Pontiac, for understanding the importance of preserving history and legacy. You have some absolute forces of nature that you are celebrating today. Individuals who stood on the shoulders of the individuals the awards are named after. Now they are the ones providing the foundation of the current and future generations. This is the true embodiment of the word trailblazer. Through the month of February, we celebrate Black history beyond the textbooks. Black history is also American history, and it should be celebrated 365 days of the year. But let us focus on this month. We get to honor the legacy and appreciate the work of Black trailblazers in moving us forward, and celebrate the diversity and innovation of Black ideas. Make no mistake, our lives would not be the same if people celebrated tonight did not take the risks necessary to accomplish these remarkable feats. Remember that to make progress, we must also reflect on the progress of the past. As Lonnie G. Bunch, director of the Smithsonian Institute, once said, "There is no more powerful force than people steeped in their history, and there is no higher cause than honoring our struggle and ancestors by remembering." We carry the legacy of trailblazers that came before us so we can continue the work of Black people have done across this state and this country long after we are gone. And with that in mind, I look forward to the progress we can make together. Once again, Pontiac, I want to say thank you for allowing me to share this monumental moment. I once again say congratulations, honorees. Have an amazing evening.
To the community of Pontiac and to everybody out here watching this evening. Now, do you see why I'm so excited about what's happening? I'm talking about we are making history tonight. I mean, true history. You just came across your computer screen the Vice Chair of Appropriations for the Michigan House of Representatives who came and gave that riveting message. And so I need you all to go ahead and give the biggest round of applause humanly imaginable for State Representative Joe Tate. Put your hands together. But next, talking about making history and blazing trails, this man right here is what I call the prototype. A prototype that so many young people that's coming up behind him. I hope you're watching this man, and I hope that you understand that you can be a millennial. You can be coming up as a Gen Zer and be the next one in line to go ahead and fall in place to follow behind this man. I'm speaking about none other than the one and only Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Michigan, Mr. Garlin Gilchrist. Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the youngest and the first African-American lieutenant governor in the history of the state of Michigan. I need you to put your hands together and welcome them to your computer screen. Take it away, Lieutenant Governor.
Hello, everyone. Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist here. While I could not make it in person, I appreciate the chance to be here with you virtually. Thank you to Kano Phillips for the introduction. I would also like to thank Representative Joe Tate, Representative Brenda Carter, Bill Maxie, ACES Veteran Services, and the community of Pontiac. As we mark the second annual Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration, I've been reflecting on the meaning of this month when we elevate and celebrate Black stories. I've been thinking about Pontiac's own rich history of Black Michiganders who have contributed to the growth and development of this community. Michiganders like Representative Charlie Harrison, a Pontiac resident who was the first Black state representative for District 62, Hubert Price, a committed civil rights activist, Clarence E. Phillips, a U.S. Air Force Vietnam-era veteran, Hayes Wendell Jones, a two-time Olympic athlete, in 1960s and 64 in Rome in the Tokyo Olympics. At today's celebration, we recognize the honorees who continue to move this community forward. I am pleased to announce our first group of awardees, Irvin Speaks, Jimmy King, and Jonathan Brown, who have each received the Joanne Battle Eloise Award for Educational Trailblazer for their outstanding educational progress as educators and coaches. I'm proud to honor Pastors Douglas Jones and Robert Martin with the Reverend McDonald Elam Clergy Award for their dedicated service to their congregations. I'm proud to honor Gwen Fox and Robbie McNair with the Hank and Thad Jones Musical Trailblazer Award for their contributions to bringing music and for bringing amazing sound to Pontiac. Gwen, thank you for all that you've done. Robbie, you are truly a Motown sound treasure. Finally, I'm proud to present the Reverend Milton Henry Activism Award to Velma Stevens, Maddie McKinney Hatchett, Kenny Core, and Jesse Lee Stevens for their significant activism accomplishments and dedicated involvement in their community. During Black History Month and at the Legends and Trailblazers celebration, we come together to reflect on the stories of Black Michiganders and recommit ourselves to following them. We reflect on the timeless struggle Black Michiganders have waged to make good on the fundamental ideals that this was a country founded on: liberty, justice, and the notion that everyone is created equal. It is a story of people standing and acting on what is right in the name of justice. It is a story we are still telling. During Black History Month, we recommit ourselves to continuing that story and continuing our mission to build a more equitable and just state for the generations that will come after us. Thank you once again for having me, and congratulations to all of our honorees.
Ladies and gentlemen, You just saw the walking, living, breathing personification of the word trailblazer. You just saw absolute Michigan history, and we had him here this evening. That's right, community of Pontiac. I need you to go ahead and let's show this man how much we appreciate him taking time out of his busy schedule. He had an emergency and he still found time to go ahead and make this happen this evening. So words cannot express how much I appreciate you, Lieutenant Governor, but the community of Pontiac, I need you to put your hands together like none other. One more time for our Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist, put your hands together. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to go ahead and get down to the true stars of the evening. I'm talking about our honorees. So, as opposed to me getting any more long-winded than I've already gotten on this camera this evening, how about we go ahead and jump to it? Let's go ahead and get started with our awards so we can go ahead and honor these absolute legends, Pontiac legends, history makers. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, our first honorees this evening will be receiving the Hank and Thad Jones Musical Trailblazer Award. And in all transparency, Pontiac, and seeing an error in us naming this award, it's only right that we go ahead and get this rectified. There aren't only two, there are three legendary Jones brothers that have made a sensational impact on the world of music. So next year, the name of the award will be called the Hank, Thad, and Elvin Jones Musical Trailblazer Award. It is not overly surprising that Thad, Hank, and Elvin were all jazz musicians. What is astonishing is that all three were exceptional, each with a distinctive and accomplished playing and recording career. By my count, the three brothers recorded 5 incredible, legendary albums. Thad playing trumpet and flugelhorn, and Hank playing piano and organ, with Elvin on the drums. As brothers, the Jones playing together were more about listening and working as one. They were more in awe of each other's abilities than stepping on toes. The brothers played with this refined elegance and taste, steering clear of elbowing and crowding on any track. Thaddeus Jones was a composer, known as one of the greatest jazz trumpet soloists of all time. He also served in World War II. After his service served, he came back and joined the Count Basie Orchestra, then the Duke Ellington Orchestra, and later joined the Thelonious Monk. He went on to receive a Grammy for all of his incredible work in the jazz world. Later, he became leader of the Count Basie Orchestra. This is what we call a Pontiac legend, and this is why we celebrate this man's legacy tonight. Next, we go to his brother Hank, who is known as the godfather of all jazz pianists. He played with people like Ella Fitzgerald, Cannonball Adderley, Benny Goodman, and Charlie Parker. He recorded over 60 albums, 60 Pontiac. He also played on the Ed Sullivan Show and also with the legendary Marilyn Monroe on her track, Happy Birthday, Mr. President. In 2009, we're talking about Hank receiving one of the greatest honors humanly imaginable. He received a Lifetime Achievement Award, a Grammy, for his incredible career in the jazz world and his contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to please put your hands together one more time for the legacy of Hank, Thad, and Elvin Jones. 3 true Pontiac legends, 3 true Pontiac trailblazers. Tonight, we salute you. Our first award recipient is none other than the legendary, polarizing, Mr. Ronnie McNair of the Four Tops. Let it be known that tonight, Pontiac, it is with the greatest of pleasure that we join in with this community, his family, friends, and peers in recognition of the mountain moving Ronnie McNair as he receives the Hank and Thad Jones Musical Trailblazer Award. This accolade distinguishes Mr. McNair's exceptional music prowess, debonair demeanor, and fire to create a world-breaking impact in Pontiac's musical scene and the world over as his music has reached every continent. Ronnie McNair was raised in Pontiac, Michigan at a time when Motown and Golden World Records dominated the Detroit area soul scene. A gifted pianist with a smooth and versatile tenor, McNair jumped onto the scene when he signed with the D2 Records and recorded Sitting in My Classroom. His reputation as a multi-talented musician preceded himself, landing him at a gig with Kim Weston's musical director. He earned the respect of many Motown alumni, including Stevie Wonder's mentor and songwriter Clarence Paul, and original Four Top Ronaldo Obie Benson. McNair became known around town as an emerging young talent. This respect in the musical landscape got him tapped to be a part of one of the greatest legendary groups to ever be assembled, the Four Tops. RCA Records took notice and signed the young musician, where he began forging his own signature sound. Professional recognition came in 1981 when he was nominated for a Grammy in the gospel music category with Memphis gospel producer Rance Allen. While McNair didn't take home the award, his reputation as a brilliant producer grew. In 1984, the Ronnie McNair Experience album entered the Billboard charts and featured the hit single, Come Be With Me. Ronnie also produced one of the greatest stepper grooves ever, Carrie Lucas' 1985 hit remake of Hello Stranger. The recording is one of the most brilliant examples of McNair's production skills as a producer. Ronnie McNair likes to say, I have no regrets. I have been very blessed making a living at doing what I love for many years. I am a member of one of the most legendary musical groups in history, and I'm having the best time of my life. I may not be a superstar, and that's okay, but I'm a very, very happy man. Therefore, it is with the greatest of honor that we celebrate the musical savant, Mr. Ronnie McNair, this evening for our 2022 Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration. You are truly a trailblazer, and we absolutely salute you. Ladies and gentlemen, for your approval, please put your hands together one more time for the incomparable Mr. Ronnie McNair, a true Pontiac legend. Welcome Mr. McNair as he receives his honor. Take it away, Mr. McNair.
What's up, y'all? This is Ronnie McNair, and I'd like to thank the Ascend Foundation and the state of Michigan for giving me these awards, because it's wonderful, man. You know, they gave me a street in my honor a few years back. That was the bomb. That was #1. But Kano, thank you, man. You don't even know me, man. Thank you for thinking about me, man. Okay, so this is #2. And I'd like to share my award right now with some people that have got out of here in the last 2 years. Charles Anthony, first genius ever met keyboard. Marcus Cummins, one of the greatest vocalists out of Pontiac. Michael Canman Griswold, percussionist. Ronnie Gentry. Jerry Stevens, my mentor, songwriting partner. Chevy Peters is out of Detroit, but he was the executive producer on a lot of things that I've done. Waylon Chico Woods, bass singer from junior high. David Finley became a miracle. Junior Johnson, one of the greatest gospel organists from Pontiac. Albert Hatchett, lawyer, but he was a great jazz drummer. And 2 of my boys came from me from grade school, Benny Elliott and Frank Russell Owens. So, plus I'd like to say something to my young brothers out there. Y'all gotta find a way to stop killing each other, y'all. For real, man, you're tearing the hearts out of your mamas and daddies and your family, standing over a casket 50 and 100 times a month. Come on, man. You can't do that, man. Y'all killing each other at the point of extinction. We need y'all. Y'all are jewels of our race, man. Y'all are so precious and you don't even know it. You're killing yourself so fast that a racist police cop can't kill you as fast as you're doing it to each other. And I say that again, a bad racist cop, because they are not all bad, and you know it. It's like all people ain't bad. We don't need no more killers and gangsters. We need lawyers, doctors, politicians, tradesmen, even musicians and songwriters like me to tell the story. We can't keep on doing this, man. You're insulting the legacy of your great grandmamas and granddaddies, where they died, man. They died with no dignity. They got treated with like nothing, man, like sewer water, to try to make sure that you could just sit down in a restaurant and have a meal without somebody telling you, get your black ass out of here. And just look how you're doing. You just disrespect, like you don't even care. Put yourself in their position. You know, look at yourself through the eyes of your great grandfather and your ancestors. See how you feel about yourself. It's a way to do it. Reach out to your partners all over the country. Y'all gotta do it. If you're gonna keep on being wannabe gangsters, be like the mafia. Start a commission. Start a commission and get it together. Start holding people responsible for getting out of order. You gotta stop doing this because we need y'all. Y'all understand? It's some people out here that love to see you doing what you're doing because you're eliminating yourself. Y'all hear me? Please do it, okay? Reach out. Thank y'all so much. I love you. It's your boy. And Pontiac, so glad to be from this town. Talking about Pontiac, just a little city, yeah, with a whole lot of heart. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations, Mr. McNair, for everything that you've done from a historic standpoint, but thank you so much for putting Pontiac on your back as you travel around the world. So we graciously salute you tonight, sir. But next, we have the truly majestic and beautiful Miss Gwen Fox-Doakes is our next honoree. Let it be known that tonight, Pontiac, it is with the greatest of pleasure that we join with her family, friends, and peers in recognition of Miss Gwen Fox-Doakes as she receives the Hank and Thad Jones Musical Trailblazer Award. This accolade distinguishes Miss Fox-Doakes' exceptional skill set and fire to create a seismic impact in Pontiac music and theatrical scene and this nation as a whole. And I'm not just saying this because she's family. I'm saying this because this is what this woman is doing. Blazing trails. Gwen consolidates rhythm and blues, jazz and classical standards, and exhilarating song stylist and captivating actor. She is one of the hottest talents in the entertainment industry. As a featured vocalist, Gwen has performed at the Gospel Mega Fest with T.D. Jakes, the Blue Note Lounge with Chaka Khan, Aretha Franklin's annual Christmas celebration, and the Essence Music Festival with Luther Vandross. Fox was also the local director and background singer for hip-hop diva Mary J. Blige Share My World Tour. Miss Fox-Doakes has opened concerts with Will Downing, Music Soul Child, Brian McKnight, Harry Connick Jr., Bob Baldwin, Phil Denny, Tom Brown, Yancey, Gerald Damian, and countless others over the span of her blessed and exciting career. Miss Fox-Doakes' theatrical credits include acting and singing in Michael Matthews' production of Mama Don't with Jennifer Holliday and the Clark Sisters. David Payton's A Good Man Is Hard to Find. Angela Barrows' Why Do Good Girls Like Bad Boys? And Real Men Pray. And Langston Hughes' Black Nativity with Stephanie Mills, producer by the Grammy Award-winning George Faison. That's right, Pontiac, and she is absolutely ours. Gwen's solo debut CD, Quiet Storm on Milan Records, title cut, written by world-renowned Lenar Kern Brantley, represents a beautiful mix of velvety, jazzy, R&B tinged with a hip-hop flavor. Quiet Storm is where Gwen's talent as a writer and producer are evident and showcases her best performance in the music industry. Hear and feel the sensation, style, passion, and desire expressed through her voice. The powerful, sultry, and sophisticated voice of female vocalist Miss Fox-Doakes delivers an undeniable sound of smoothness that is all her own, and it leads you to believe she is one of Pontiac's and Motown's rarest jewels. Therefore, it is with the greatest of honor that we celebrate Miss Gwen Fox-Doakes this evening during our 2022 Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration. You are truly a trailblazer, and we absolutely salute you. Ladies and gentlemen, for your approval, please put your hands together wherever you are one more time for the incomparable Miss Gwen Fox-Doakes, a true Pontiac legend. Welcome Miss Fox-Doakes as she receives her honor. Take it away, Miss Fox-Doakes.
Okay, thank you for that beautiful introduction. I mean, of course, I have to give praise and thanks to God, who is the author and the giver of all things good. I have to also say thank you to Michigan State Representative Brenda Carter, the ACES Foundation, and the Clarence E. Phillips Ascend Foundation for this prestigious award. Oh, I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude. I thank my parents who recorded my first record. My mother, John and Lucille Flem, may they rest in heaven. I have to thank my daughter, Portia Phillips-Doakes, who is right at my side with unconditional love. My son, Raphael Fox, who is my rock, and I cannot do it without him. My brothers, John and Andre. My sisters, Joyce, rest in peace, June, Jackie, and Niecy, who are always a phone call away. My Aunt Pat, Stacia Watkins, my cousin Stacia Watkins, my friend Alicia Hall, my friend Charlene Wellams, and my best friend Linda Simpson, for always keeping it real with me and being 100. I thank them for their encouragement. I want to share this award with my Pontiac musicians and singers, for we are and always will be divinely connected. I have to thank Miss Sanders for allowing my husband, Detroit native Greg Doakes, and myself to come into the after-school programming in Pontiac at Harrington Elementary Synergy program. I was speaking with Karima, and we talked about how Detroit adopted me. Well, Pontiac absolutely adopted my husband, Mr. Doakes, through the direction of Mr. Cordell. He also became the music teacher for our junior high schools and our high schools. And ultimately, I have to thank the Oakland University Pontiac Initiative for bringing our gospel explosion to the Strand from Oakland University. I was honored to chair that beautiful gospel event. But high on the scale for me, I have to thank Jerry Graham. Because of her, I've been connected to Pontiac for the past 25 years through the Oakland University Project Upward Bound program. It means everything to me. I thank Miss Ava McDowell, my teachers, Jenna Williams, Marion Blunt, Raphael Fox, and Mr. Abai. We will continue to serve our scholars in higher education, the performing arts program that my husband and I developed. We are grateful that we were even able to get it accepted. Kano, this award means everything. I've done some things and I'm glad to have made my city proud. But more than anything, we played phone tag for 2 weeks. When we finally connected and we etched this in stone, it was my daddy's birthday. And so I know this is, of the highest. This award means more to me than every award and any award. Why? Because it comes from my hometown. So Pontiac, let's continue to support and love on one another. I thank you for this award. I don't take this lightly. I love you, Kano. I love you. Thank you, Pontiac. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together one more time for the legendary Gwen Fox-Doakes. And Gwen, you know your mother, the legendary Lucille Flem, is looking down right now, smiling brighter than ever. So way to go ahead and represent and make that woman proud, because that woman meant the world to so many people. So thank you for your contribution to the music scene. Ladies and gentlemen, this next award going out to our honorees is named after two absolute legends in the liturgical field. I'm speaking about none other than Reverend Eddie A. McDonald and Elder Willie Elam. On March 8, 1999, the world and Pontiac lost an absolute trailblazing legend in the passing of Reverend Eddie McDonald Sr. of Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. For his lifetime of service in a multitude of years, Pastor McDonald was known as one of the most respected and influential leaders in the city of Pontiac. It is nearly impossible to imagine what the landscape of Pontiac would look like had Pastor McDonald chosen not to move here from North Carolina in 1953. On March 28, 1968, Pastor McDonald became the pastor of Friendship Missionary Baptist Church and held the position up until his untimely transition. Pastor McDonald's influence not only on this world, but in the church extended way beyond just the walls of that cathedral. He wasn't pushed out into the community and touched the world like none other through a multitude of professional organizations like the Pontiac Citizens Coalition, Lighthouse, and Pontiac Youth Assistance Program. Pastor McDonald also served as president of the Oakland County Ministerial Fellowship. If you ever want to get a good idea of the legacy that man pushed, not only by himself, but also what he was able to go ahead and carry over through his children, all you have to do is take a real good look at Eddie McDonald, what he's doing in the field of politics. Look at Derek McDonald, what he's doing not only from a liturgical standpoint, following in his father's footsteps, but also the impact he's made on the community of Pontiac. And let's not even talk about Sandy McDonald, what he's been able to do when he was here in Pontiac and now down in Florida, carrying on the legacy and holding Pontiac high. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with the greatest honor that I ask you that you please put your hands together one more time for the legacy of Reverend Eddie A. McDonald, a true Pontiac legend. Next we have Elder Willie George Elam Sr. Elder Elam was known as the patriarch of the legendary Elam family of Pontiac, Michigan. Elder Elam remained steadfast in the apostles' doctrine, at which time he founded and began pastoring at Christ Temple Apostolic Church on Sanford Street, and a few years later moved to 539 South Paddock Street. For all our East Siders, is better known as the White House on the Hill. Elder Elam was an active member of the Northern District Council of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World. He was district elder of the 19th District and was very active in most auxiliaries. Even with that, it pales in comparison to his 55 years of service in which he gave back to the Pontiac community. And he did that through a multitude of initiatives. Everything from give back initiatives all the way through educational pushes. Educational pushes that saw him giving 15 years of his life to the Pontiac School District Board of Education. Words in the English language fail when one tries to describe Elder Willie G. Elam Sr. and all that he stood for. He was also known as the modern-day Abraham because of everything that he did for the community of Pontiac. On February 4th in 2018, he went on to go ahead and join the Lord. But prior to him passing, he left a legacy that's rich and it still stands with the Elam family today. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you please put your hands together one more time for the life and legacy of Elder Willie George Elam Sr., a true Pontiac legend. Our next award winner for the liturgical category is someone who's been absolutely incredible for the community of Pontiac. So let it be known that tonight, Pontiac, is with the greatest of pleasure that we join with his family, friends, and peers in recognition of Pastor Douglas Jones as he receives the Reverend McDonald and Elam Clergy Trailblazer Award. This accolade distinguishes Pastor Jones' exceptional ability, passion, and love for the community of Pontiac. Reverend Douglas Paul Jones was called to Welcome Missionary Baptist Church in Pontiac, Michigan, and installed in 1989. Pastor Jones received his Bachelor's of Arts Sociology and Psychology degree from the University of Cincinnati and a bachelor's degree in theology from the Cincinnati Bible College Pastoral Care Administration. Pastor Jones was formerly employed with Xerox Corporation as a sales executive and successfully transitioned from the corporate world to lead Welcome Missionary Baptist Church with God's abundant blessings. Welcome Missionary Baptist Church has grown to 4,000 members under the leadership of Pastor Douglas P. Jones. Pastor Jones is a preacher, a teacher, and most importantly, a servant of God. Under the inspired and dedicated leadership of Pastor Jones, many lives have been changed and souls have come to Christ. Pastor Jones attends to the needs of his flock as he performs marriages, funerals, counseling, baptismal, outreach, Bible classes, virtual heart-to-heart sessions, and virtual services. He also works diligently within the city as the chairman of the Committee of 50, founder of the Greater Pontiac Community Coalition chaplain of the Oakland County Sheriff Department, and is a member of the Comerica Community and Diversity Board. Pastor Jones is also the recipient of numerous awards and recognitions. Pastor Jones always gives praise to God for his goodness and what he has done. And he continues to do for not only his family, but for the people of God. Therefore, it is with the greatest of honor that we celebrate Pastor Douglas Jones this evening during the 2022 Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration. You are truly a trailblazer and we salute you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, for your approval, I humbly ask that you please put your hands together one more time for the one and only Force of Nature himself, Pastor Douglas Jones, a true Pontiac legend. Welcome, Pastor Jones, as he receives his honor.
Thank you very much, and I'm really honored and humbled to be able to be here to receive this award and to, not only thank Brenda Carter and the Ascend Foundation, but just to be able to share the walk in the path that those persons who walked before us, Pastor Eddie McDonald, Pastor Leland, I wanted to thank them so very, very much for what they have done, Pastor Elam, for what they have done to bring Pontiac to the station that it's in. What they showed us was that if you work together and you care for people, a great deal can be done. And so to be able to receive this Legends and Trailblazers Award is certainly an humbling and honorable experience for me. So on behalf of myself, my family, the church, and the Greater Pontiac Community Coalition, I want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much during this celebration of Black History Month and Black history in total.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for the one and only Pastor Douglas Jones, a true Pontiac legend. We salute you, Pastor Jones. Congratulations. And next we have a man who's been absolutely amazing and incredible for the community of Pontiac. I'm talking about none other than the one and only Pastor Robert Martin. Let it be known that tonight, Pontiac, it is with the greatest of pleasure that we join with his family, friends, and peers in recognition of Pastor Robert Martin as he receives the Reverend McDonald Elam Clergy Trailblazer Award. This accolade distinguishes Pastor Martin's exceptional abilities, passions, and love for the community of Pontiac. Pastor Robert L. Martin was born in Eudora, Arkansas, and moved to Detroit, Michigan at the age of 6. He graduated from Highland Park High School and he went to work for Chrysler Motors at their corporate headquarters. Later, Robert became foreman of Dodge Main Assembly Plant located in Hamtramck, Michigan. And in March of 1977, Pastor Martin united with Friendship Missionary Baptist Church under the pastorate leadership of the legendary Reverend Eddie A. McDonald, of which this award is named after to this evening. Over the next 13 years, Pastor Martin ministered as custodian, usher, trustee, ordained deacon, Sunday school teacher, leader of the Young Men and Women Youth Group, and assistant youth director. He confessed to his call to preach on July 29, 1984, and preached his first public sermon on August 26, 1984. He graduated from Oakland Community College in August of 1978, becoming a licensed practitioner nurse, and attended Michigan State University School of Business. Upon completion of his educational matriculation, he passed the state and federal exams to become a licensed nursing home administrator, in which he worked until June of 2009. Pastor Martin worked with Pastor Claude Goodwin at Providence Church during his years there. Robert mentored hundreds of youth. Many of them traveled with him to national conferences or Christian education, with meetings held across the states of Michigan, Missouri, Kentucky, Texas, Maryland, and Indiana. He received accreditation to teach in the NBC USA Sunday School Division. It is also this passion for children and community that he can see every fall the multi-year football champions Pontiac Panthers practice on the grounds of his church. Pastor Martin believes that we are our brother's keeper. During his tenure as pastor, many souls have been added to the church family, but the greater work has been the effort to renovate, restore lives, giving hope, and provide assistance to the people of our community. Therefore, it is with the greatest of honor that we celebrate Pastor Robert Martin this evening during our 2022 Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration. You are truly a trailblazer, and we salute you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, for your approval, I humbly ask that you please put your hands together one more time for the one and only Force of Nature himself, Pastor Robert Martin, a true Pontiac legend. Please welcome Pastor Martin as he receives his honor. Take it away, Pastor Martin.
Let me first of all say thank you to brother, and I call him Brother Kano Phillips. I don't know if I just call him by his first name, and I think he earns that respect. And those others who considered me to give this award. All my life, I've been very good at helping, encouraging, and mentoring others, but it's when you ask me to talk about myself, that's when it becomes a little slippery. But I am, and I have been, a mentor to many, not only in Pontiac, but where I worked. There were young ladies who would always come for advice, for counseling, and ultimately they would call me their father. And so I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that Pontiac, the citizenry of Pontiac, has received me so well. I've been instrumental in some of the political things that have happened in this city for good. Pastor McDonald, my father in the ministry, always said, we are our brother's keeper, and we are to serve the total man. And so this is what I tried to live, not only before people, but at my own home, before my family, because I think it's tremendously important that we as men, especially black men, become more engaged and involved in not only what's happening in your community, but in the political arena. We ought to influence what happens in our city. And so I am honored. I'm just graciously accepting this award and appreciative of everything that's been done on my behalf. Thank you. God bless you.
Pastor Martin, thank you so much for your words, but even more so, congratulations, sir, for your accomplishment and everything you have given the Pontiac community. But next, coming to your computer screen, we would be absolutely remiss if we didn't take the opportunity to go ahead and bring to you a true leader. A leader not only throughout the community of Pontiac, but also through the county as a whole. I'm talking about none other than Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter, somebody who's rolled up his sleeves from day one, taking over for L. Brooks Patterson, and he has really hit the ground running, and he's been tremendous for the community of Pontiac. So it's with the greatest honor at this time that I ask you all to put your hands together as we invite to your computer screen the one, the only, Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter. Take it away, my friend.
Kano, my friend, thank you for inviting me back to what is now the second annual Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Award. I'm thrilled to be here. The work of the Ascend Foundation, as well as State Representative Brenda Coulter and the ACES veterans, what you're doing to help lift up the voices of our history, of black history in this county and this city is so important. You know, the award is called the Legends, but I want to remind you that these are living legends. These are people who still walk among us, and I've had the privilege of working with many of them. There's a few that I don't know, but the importance of that is that they're still here, and they still have stories to share and experiences to let us move forward and build on what they've learned so that we can make an even greater city and a greater county for everybody. So I want to congratulate all the award recipients, and I want to encourage all of your listeners, Kano, that if there's someone on this list that you're not familiar with, Google them, look them up, because their history is important, and that's the importance of this celebration today. What they have to teach us is so critical, and so find out what you don't know. Reach out to them, because like I said, they're still here. I've had the honor of working with many of them, but I'm going to do the same thing. There's a couple that I'm not familiar with, and I'm going to find out more, because that's what this is about, making our county stronger going forward by learning our history. And there's been no greater history made in Oakland County than in the city of Pontiac, where many of our trailblazers come from. So I want to congratulate all of the award recipients today. Job well done.
Executive Coulter, thank you so much for your words and understanding the gist of what it is that we're trying to get accomplished here this evening, celebrating African American history, not only from a national standpoint, but more importantly from a local standpoint, Pontiac history. So thank you for that, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this next award going out to our honorees is named after two absolute legends in the educational field. I'm speaking about none other than Miss Joanne Battle and Miss Elois Williams, Esquire. Miss Joanne Battle was born in Huntsville, Alabama, and she departed this earth on June 28, 2011. She matriculated to Tuskegee University Institute, which is a historical HBCU, and she graduated with a degree in secondary education. She later earned a master's degree from the University of Michigan in 1970. It was in that same year she was offered a teaching position at Pontiac School District, where she began a 39-year tenure, which included 32 as an English teacher, 3 as an assistant principal, and 4 as a principal, 38 of which were spent at her beloved Pontiac Northern High School. Over the years, Miss Battle received honors too numerous to list in detail. However, some of them included Oakland County, awards from Oakland County, the City of Pontiac, Pontiac School District, and also the state of Michigan. She also received awards from the Boy Scouts of America. She also joined a multitude of organizations and entities as well. Entities such as becoming a member of Welcome Missionary Baptist Church. She joined the Queens of Sheba, Chapter 15, the Order of Eastern Stars, the Phenomenal Red Hatters, and she became a lifetime member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Miss Battle's legendary legacy in the field of education and the community in Pontiac stands unrivaled. It is with the greatest honor that I ask you to please put your hands together for a true Pontiac legend, Mrs. Joanne Battle. Next we have the incredible Miss Lois Williams, Esquire, who was born on November the 11th, 1953. Ms. Williams spent her primary and secondary education in Pontiac School District, in which she received her diploma from Pontiac Central High School. Ms. Williams went on to attend the University of Michigan, where she received her bachelor's degree in political science in 1975. She then went on to receive her Juris Doctorate degree from Wayne State University in 1978. Ms. Williams became the first African American female lawyer from Pontiac, Michigan. She practiced law at several law firms and worked with several noteworthy attorneys such as Daryl Mitchell, the legendary Elbert Hatchett, Cyril Hall, and her longtime friend Lisa C. Watkins. After practicing law for 21 years, Ms. Williams decided that it was time to walk in her purpose, and so she went back and obtained another degree, a master's degree in education. From there, she went and pushed herself right into the Pontiac School District, where she started Pontiac's first civics program. And it's because of her right now that Pontiac has this civics program, teaching the power of the political process and educating children, making sure they understand what their purpose could be and the value that they have in looking to pursue some of these political positions. Ladies and gentlemen, it is legendary individuals like this that make Pontiac what it is. And so I ask that you put your hands together one more time for the legacy of the incredible, incomparable attorney, Lois Williams, a true Pontiac legend. This next individual has touched the whole north side and east side of Pontiac, and I'm talking about he's done it in a stellar capacity. It is with the greatest of pleasure that we join in this evening with this community, a slew of friends, family, and peers in recognition of one legendary Mr. Jimmy Coach King, as it receives a Joanne Battle, a Lois Williams Educational Trailblazer Award. This accolade distinguishes Mr. King's exceptional flair and unyielding passion to create a life-changing impact on thousands of children in Pontiac through his straight no-chaser demeanor and disposition, in conjunction with his passion for affecting the lives of thousands of young minds that he has molded into greatness. Mr. Jimmy Coach King was born and raised in Bainbridge, Georgia. He graduated with a bachelor's degree from Albany State College and moved to Pontiac, Michigan, where he received his teacher certification at Oakland University and completed graduate studies at Michigan State University. Mr. King started teaching in the Pontiac School District in 1969. He taught over 16,000 students, 16,000 in physical education and health science, coached JV football, coached JV basketball and girls track, and completed certifications in sexual education and water life saving. Mr. King is a member of Newman AME Church and is a 51-year member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, where he received the Kappa White Jacket. He coached the Oakland County Girls Track Championships in 1983, 84, and 1992. He coached 8 undefeated JV football teams and 2 state champion basketball teams, and coached 23 champions in the Girls Oakland County Track Competition. Mr. King's motto is simply this: when things get hard, suck it up. Therefore, it is with the greatest of honor that we celebrate this evening Mr. Jimmy Coach King, during our 2022 Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration. You are truly a trailblazer, and we absolutely salute you, Mr. King. Ladies and gentlemen, for your approval, I ask that you please put your hands together one more time for the ground shaking Mr. Jimmy Coach King, a true Pontiac legend. Please welcome Coach King as he receives his honor. Take it away, Mr. King.
First of all, I would like to thank the Senate Foundation for this honor, and especially a former student, Mr. Kano Phillips, a former Pontiac Northern student, a former athlete, great athlete at Pontiac Northern, Mr. Kano Phillips. I'm blessed to have my former student I'm blessed to have touched thousands of students in the city of Pontiac. I say thousands of students in the city of Pontiac because I had 5 physical education classes with 50 or more students in the class. And when I didn't have 5 physical education classes, I would have 2 health classes along with the 35 students that are in the health class, along with the 50 students that are in the physical education class. So that's what I'm saying when I say I've touched thousands. Not only that I have taught the health class and the physical education students, I had football. I had JV football for a number of years. I had JV basketball, and I had girls track. So we're talking about thousands of students in the city of Pontiac. There's a saying that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And I'm flattered that so many students remember me and often imitate things that I have said or that I may have not said. Again, thank you for this honor.
To the community of Pontiac, I told you we weren't playing around with you this evening. I told you we're going to go ahead and celebrate absolute greatness. And that's what you just saw that came across your computer screen 2 seconds ago. We're talking about a man who is absolutely legendary. For you to be able to touch as many kids' lives as that man did, that's what this is all about. That's putting footprints in the sand for us to go ahead and follow. So I'm going to go ahead and ask all of you where you are to put your hands together one more time for the one, the only Pontiac Northerns, Mr. Coach Jimmy King. Put your hands together. And that's right too, Pontiac. I'm a Pontiac Northern product. Huskies for life. But just in case, like some of you kids like to go ahead and say, just in case you think I might be set tripping, I think it's only right that we go ahead and pay homage to the other side too. I'm talking about that school that lies on Huron Street. I'm talking about that school that covered the south side and west side corridors. I'm talking about a true absolute legend, somebody who touched the lives of thousands, just like the man that we just saw prior to this. I'm talking about none other than the one, the only, Mr. Coach Irvin Speaks. It is with the greatest of pleasure that we join in this evening to go ahead and celebrate amongst his peers, his friends, his family, and the Pontiac community, Mr. Irvin Speaks, as he receives the Joanne Battle and Lois Williams Educational Trailblazer Award. This accolade distinguishes Mr. Speaks' exceptional skill set and unrivaled passion to create a life-changing impact on thousands of children in Pontiac through his charismatic flair and approach on life and delivery in the classroom and beyond. After graduating college in 1965, Mr. Irvin Speaks moved to Pontiac area where he began a teaching career that will last 40 years. Throughout this time as an educator, he taught physical education as well as U.S. and African history. He taught at many levels including elementary, junior high, and high school. His time as a teacher gave him the great honor of teaching thousands of students in his tenure, making an impact on each and every one of their lives. He also worked in Parks and Recreation for almost 20 years at Jefferson High School. Mr. Speaks inspiringly became the first African American to teach swimming at Hayes Jones in Pontiac for 10 years. He coached the girls varsity track team and the varsity football team, while also coaching basketball and Little League within the community. His life in Pontiac allowed him to make strong friendships. He has enjoyed his time there and found great pride in being able to touch the heart and soul of so many young people, which he considers to be the greatest honor humanly imaginable. This is the definition of making your existence count. Therefore, it is with the greatest of honor that we celebrate Mr. Irvin Coach Speaks this evening and during our 2022 Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration. You are truly a trailblazer, and we absolutely salute you, Mr. Speaks. Ladies and gentlemen, for your approval, I humbly ask that you please put your hands together one more time for the ground shaking, Mr. Coach Irvin Speaks, a true Pontiac legend. Please welcome Mr. Speaks as he receives his honor. Take it away, Mr. Speaks.
Thank you, all of those who played a part in this opportunity for me to come and say thank you. Thank you, thank you. It's more than just looking at a camera, being somewhere and saying, hey, I did this and I did that. We lived a wonderful life, and that life here in Pontiac has a lot of history with it. And that history, young people are now, you're the leaders. Be the warriors that you were meant to be, okay? We've lost a lot of our young brothers and sisters on the way. There's too many to count, and we've lost too many. But we also have a lot of warriors that have fought a great battle. And now, the younger people that's here today, you have to pick up the baton, and you have to run with it. That's not just a joke, it's a say-so, it's a hard. No, being black is just not something that you come to. You are who you are, and be proud of who you are. We paid a dear price, and our ancestors paid an even dearer price. They paid with their lives. And to have an opportunity to hold such an award and have such nice young people around me that I had a part in, hopefully that I did something right, that they followed through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I enjoy being here, I enjoy seeing you, and I hope that we can do some other things, sort of like off the record, if it's no more than having a speech here now. And we fought long and hard to get Black history. And I came up through schools like Booker T. Washington in North Carolina, Booker T. Booker Telefarrell Washington. 90% of us don't know what the T was, but that's what it was. He fought for it. He was a warrior. Martin Luther King was a warrior. Akinda was a warrior. You came from people who were strong, their backbones, and you are here today because they paid a price. And we must not let the banner fall. We must pick it up and we must run with it. Keep in mind who you are. Never forget, okay? You are a person of color, and you're one of God's gifts, and there's no greater gift than what God can give you, and that's life. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speaking with you and seeing you again. I appreciate being here, and I will guard this with all my heart, and I will look at it and appreciate it, that the battle was worth fighting, but it's not won. Do not give up. When you get a chance to do something, show the little brothers and sisters what it's like. Everything ain't hip-hop, yay, and it's going to be bouncing. You got to be able to exist. You got to be able to do things in life that's going to move the rest of us, okay? If you're too old to run, walk. But the battle must go on. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, okay, to be able to accept this award. Thank you, and God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you we were not playing around this evening. Talking about absolute greatness in the educational system, look, we just gave it to you. I mean, we gave you a 1-2 punch that's unforgettable. I'm talking one of Mike Tyson specials here. On the north side, we gave you Coach Jimmy King. And then we just took you over to the west side where we gave you Coach Irvin Speaks. And I'm talking about two absolute legends. But I need you, wherever you are, one more time to put your hands together for Pontiac Central's own, the true legendary Coach Irvin Speaks. But now I got to go ahead and take you back over. Look, if we're going to do it, let's go ahead and go for the trifecta tonight. I'm talking about we gave you Coach Jimmy King. We gave you Coach Urban Speaks. But now we're about to go ahead and bring you to somebody who not only touched you over at Pontiac Northern, but his work that continued on after his days at Pontiac Northern covered the whole community of Pontiac as a whole. And I'm talking about an absolute true coaching legend, educational legend. I'm talking about none other than the one and only Coach John Brown. And it is with the greatest pleasure that we join in together from community of Pontiac to celebrate in recognition of Mr. Coach John Brown as he receives the Joanne Battle, a Lois Williams Educational Trailblazer Award. This accolade distinguishes Mr. Brown's exceptional skill set and unrivaled passion to create a life-changing impact on thousands of children in Pontiac through his polarizing flair and approach on life and delivery in the classroom and the field of battle, which is passionately known to us as the gridiron and the wrestling mat. Mr. Jonathan Brown was born and raised in the state of Virginia. He earned a bachelor's degree in vocational education from Elizabeth City State University. That's right, HBCUs for life. An associate's degree in electronics from the National Institute of Technology. A master's degree in Parks and Recreation from Central Michigan University. And another master's degree in educational administration from Wayne State University. In 1970, Mr. Brown began working as an electronics instructor at Pontiac Northern High School. He also took on the role of the head coach for the football and wrestling teams during his more than 2 decades at Pontiac Northern. Coach Brown received numerous leadership and community service awards from the state and national athletic organizations. He was promoted to the position of assistant principal at Washington Middle School in 1996, followed by promotions to the principal of Madison Middle School, also the principal of Pontiac Central High School, and going on from there to become the principal at Ypsilanti High School. Mr. Brown also held the position of Executive Director of Secondary Education and Athletics. In July 2011, he rejoined the school district of the city of Pontiac as the interim superintendent. Throughout his career, Coach Brown has received more than 22 awards, and now 23, from his achievement in education, athletics, and community service, a shining example of servant leadership. He is also my fraternity brother, as he is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Coach Jonathan N. Brown is an educator who believes in discipline, compassion, and equal success. Mr. Brown lives by the belief that every child is special and has countless gifts to share. By receiving firm guidance, encouragement, and empathy from their parents, teachers, administrators, and community students will succeed. Therefore, it is with the greatest of honor that we celebrate tonight Mr. Jonathan Brown this evening during the 2022 Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration. You are truly a trailblazer, and we absolutely salute you tonight, Mr. Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, for your approval, I emphatically ask that you please put your hands together one more time for the Planet Movement, Mr. Jonathan Coach Brown, a true Pontiac legend. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time and welcome Mr. Brown. Take it away, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon. I'm extremely honored to be the recipient of the Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Award for my role in serving students of the Pontiac School District. I was totally surprised when Kano Phillips called to tell me that I had been selected to receive this acclaimed award from the Ascend Foundation, State Representative Brenda Coulter, and ACE Veteran Services in the category of education. Since I've never been a person to take anything for granted, I immediately thank God for those who thought enough of me to consider me for this most distinguished honor. Whatever success I may have achieved during my career can be attributed to the wonderful students I had the privilege to serve. Their energy, enthusiasm, and willingness to improve themselves made me work harder and demanded more of myself. They say leading others is the most challenging undertaking of all human endeavors. However, for me, watching students achieve their goals is the most gratifying experience of all. I want to thank Mr. Kano Phillips and the Ascend Foundation Board of Directors, Representative Coulter, and the selection committee for considering me for this prestigious award. I would also like to thank the Pontiac School District for a wonderful 35-year career serving students and teachers at the middle, high school, and board level. I will be remiss if I didn't thank parents of the Pontiac community who entrusted me with their most precious gift, their children. I believe it was Cornel West who said, "You can't lead the people if you don't love the people. You can't save the people if you don't serve the people." And God only knows how much I enjoyed serving the students of the Pontiac School District. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Once again, congratulations, Coach Brown, and thank you so much for everything that you've given the community of Pontiac. You have touched so many lives, and there's so many of us that's so much better off because of you being able to go ahead and touch us. So thank you, sir. But next, I'm about to bring to your computer screen someone who's been an absolute warrior up in Lansing for us from the moment that she was elected in office. I'm talking about none other than Michigan Senator Rosemary Bayer. And I'm not saying this because I'm fond of this woman, but I'm saying this because this is a woman who has really worked her butt off to make sure Pontiac is going to go ahead and get a fair, equitable shake on when it comes down to legislation, when it comes down to financially what's going to come back to the community of Pontiac so we can help move forward on a multitude of ways. So it is with the greatest honor at this moment that I bring to you, next on our computer screen, I want you to put your hands together for the one, the only, State Senator Rosemary Bayer. Take it away, Senator Bayer.
Hi, this is your State Senator Rosemary Bayer. Thank you for inviting me to join you today for a minute just to express my appreciation for this event. To thank the Ascend Foundation and Kano Phillips and all of the supporters of the event. This time, more than any time we've known, we have to see history and appreciate what our trailblazers, what our history makers have done for us, and understand and celebrate this. Because right now, when some people are thinking that history is something that can be rewritten at whim, that's a real problem. We understand the value of our history and how these are the people who we trust, who we respect, who we want to follow as they blaze trails. And so now we're recognizing those trailblazers who just aren't with us anymore, but we're also celebrating so many trailblazers right here in Pontiac who are doing all the things that we would hope to do ourselves, blazing a trail for us to follow and just creating history every single day. So I want to just celebrate that. I want to tell you how much I appreciate you. I hope that you are half as proud of yourselves as I am of you. I thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for giving me this opportunity today and to have a wonderful celebration day.
Thank you so much, Senator Bayer, for your love and words of encouragement that you just gave our honorees this evening and the passion that you showed for the community of Pontiac. You please keep fighting on that good fight up in Lansing and understand that Pontiac has got your back. But let's get back to our awards. Ladies and gentlemen, this next award going out to our honoree is named after one absolute political trailblazing powerhouse who set the tempo of politics in this community of Pontiac. I'm talking about the man none other than Charlie J. Harrison Jr. He was the first individual to go ahead and go to the State House to go ahead and hold multiple terms before we got to term limitations. And I believe he was up there for 18 years in that position until finally he decided to go ahead and come home after meeting term limits to become the first individual to come from the State House back to the community of Pontiac to become mayor of the great city of Pontiac until before he ended up meeting his untimely demise. But through all of his travels, this man impacted this community and the state of Michigan like none other. He did it through a multitude of organizations. Organizations like the Oakland County Branch NAACP, the 100 Club, Oakland County Democratic Committee, the Pontiac Area Urban League, Clinton Valley Center Advisory Committee, Boy Scouts of America in Oakland County, Society of African American Police, Oakland County Human Resources Committee, New Life Committee to Fight Drug Abuse, and also Oakland County Coalition for Welfare Rights. And it's a multitude of other things. I'm talking about this list stems on to about another 100 organizations that this man impacted through either a leadership capacity or from participation capacity. This is what we're talking about, Pontiac. These are the type of individuals that ran through our city for a multitude of years, and that's why tonight we take the opportunity to go ahead and honor their existence with naming these awards after them, and also putting these awards in the hands of people that are worthy to go ahead and hold that mantle up. So ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you please put your hands together one more time for the legacy of Charlie J. Harrison Jr., a true Pontiac legend. But this next woman, what can I say about her? I mean, this woman is an absolute national treasure. This woman, when her name got put in front of the committee, she actually touched a multitude of categories. And we just had to go and figure out, since it was a unanimous decision that we were going to go forward with her, we had to figure out which one we're going to go ahead and put her in. And that's a beautiful thing when you can go and touch the world from multiple sides to give you the type of legacy that she's built. And let me go ahead and tell you who I'm talking about, though. We're talking about the one, the only, legendary County Commissioner Emeritus, Maddie McKinney Hatchett. And it is with the greatest of pleasure and the greatest of honor that we as a community, from a Pontiac standpoint, come together to celebrate with friends, her family, and also all of her peers, the people that she's done it on a regular basis for so many years with, that we come together to recognize in recognition of our County Commissioner Emeritus, Maddie McKinney Hatchett, as she receives the Charlie Harrison Jr. Political Trailblazer Award. This accolade distinguishes Commissioner Hatchett's exceptional skill set, ferocious drive for what's right, unyielding determination, and unrivaled passion to create a life of changing impact. This impactful reach includes thousands of children in Pontiac through her charismatic flair in the educational system, her methodical fight for senior citizen rights, her prowess in the upper echelon of political chambers, and activism that rivals the legendary Black Panther Party. Since 1963, Ms. McKinney Hatchett has served as a teacher and a principal in the Pontiac School District, the deputy mayor under Charlie Harrison, Oakland County Commissioner, trustee on the Pontiac School Board, president of the Library Board, as well as served as the mayor of Pontiac upon the passing of the late state representative and mayor of Pontiac, Charlie Harrison, in which this award is named after, as well as many other prestigious positions. Commissioner Emeritus Hatchett also made history as the first African-American woman to serve as president of the Michigan Association of Counties. She currently sits as the president of the CNS Healthcare Board of Directors. Ms. McKinney Hatchett has responded with energy and a heartfelt concern for all citizens, business, and institutions in times when Pontiac was met with difficulties and challenges. Over the years, Maddie McKinney Hatchett has acquired many memories of the difficult tasks that have fallen to her and valuable insights into the complexity of our system of self-government. She has taken a great deal of personal pride and satisfaction for all that she has given back to the people of Pontiac, and Pontiac, she is ours. Therefore, it is with the greatest of honor that we celebrate Commissioner Emeritus Maddie McKinney Hatchett this evening during our 2022 Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration. You are truly a trailblazer, and we absolutely salute you. Ladies and gentlemen, for your absolute approval, I humbly ask that you please put your hands together one more time for the blueprint herself, Commissioner Emeritus Maddie McKinney Hatchett, a true Pontiac legend. Please welcome Commissioner Hatchett as she receives her honor. Take it away, Ms. Hatchett.
Thank you so much, Kano. I'm so excited about getting this award. But you know what? To God be all the glory. I'm nothing without him. Whatever I've done and accomplished, I did it through him and the power within me. I have stood upon the shoulders of some of the greatest contributors to the Pontiac community, like the late Leona Edwards. That's who started me off. That's who mentored me and allowed me to be the campaign manager for her when she was running for county commissioner. I just can't tell you how excited I am that someone is giving me flowers while I'm still able to see them, to enjoy them. But nothing that I've done have I done on my own. It's been on the shoulders of the Marie Johnsons, the Leona Edwards, those people, and with the help of God. So I received this award with such pride and happiness. Thanks for the encouragement that you are giving me.
I got to go ahead and take one of the terms that some of my kids like to go ahead and use. This moment right here is giving me life. When I say giving me life, I am loving what's happening tonight because this is what it's about. This is absolute Pontiac at its all-time greatest, at its finest. You see the people that then came across the screen and you just saw the woman that just left your screen. This woman is absolutely amazing. 50 years of service, over 50 years of service she's giving you, Pontiac. And that's why we celebrate you tonight. And I'm talking about, I need you to put your hands together one more time for the one, the only, Commissioner Emeritus, Maddie McKinney Hatchett. Please put your hands together one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, this next award going out to our honorees is named after an absolute trailblazing powerhouse in the field of activism. I'm speaking about none other than the Reverend Milton Henry Esquire. Reverend Milton Henry passed away at the age of 87, but with his time on this earth, he served as a civil rights lawyer who sought to create a provisional government of former slave states. In the late 1960s, Reverend Henry sought for $200 million in reparations from the federal government to create a black country in Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Louisiana, and Mississippi. He felt the need to do this because no matter how hard African Americans fought for freedom and equality, we were still unable to go ahead and be able to achieve that goal. So, and it's because of these fights and plights, he found himself, his life, and his family in danger on a regular basis. So bad that for over a year, they had to actually set up a wall, a barrier of African American men and Caucasian men who actually band together to go ahead and sit outside of his house for a year's time to make sure that he and his family stayed safe because of threats coming from the Ku Klux Klan. And this was right here in Michigan, I might add too, Pontiac. But beyond that, for him to go ahead and get this status, he ended up taking his education down to the legendary HBCU, Lincoln University, where he graduated in 1947. And he also became a member of the historical African American fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, which also serves as my fraternity as well. But he went on to earn his law degree from Yale University in 1950. He was a Pontiac commissioner from 1954 to 1960 and was a member of the Tuskegee Airmen during the World War II period. And he served with the late Coleman Young, which also served as the first mayor, black African-American mayor of Detroit. It was because of his fights, his battle, and his plights that he ended up becoming really good friends with the legendary, incomparable Malcolm X, where ultimately he served as a pallbearer at his funeral. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to please put your hands together for the legendary and the incomparable Reverend Milton Henry Jr., a true Pontiac legend. Tonight is with the greatest pleasure that we join in with our community, their families, and all of our friends and peers out here in the community of Pontiac as a whole as we celebrate the legendary Stevens sisters. First, we celebrate Miss Velma Stevens as she receives the Reverend Milton Henry Activism Trailblazer Award. This honor distinguishes Miss Stevens' exceptional push for change and tenacious passion to create a life-changing impact on the masses of people in Pontiac, with her training ground being in the civil rights arena. She does this through her unbeatable work ethic and passionate drive to touch the lives of so many through her organizational work. Velma Stevens was born in Haynesville, Alabama. She came to Pontiac in the late 50s and began work in the community as an organizer. Miss Stevens was an active member of the Bloomfield Hills Woodward Estate Neighborhood Association for 22 years and worked her way to becoming the chair of the association. She has been a member of Trinity Missionary Baptist Church for more than 50 years. That's a half of a century, and worked at Ford Motor Company for 31 years in quality control. She came to Michigan because she thought there was more work to be done, and she knew it had to happen in the North. She fought hard for activism when she moved to Pontiac due to growing up through the civil rights movement and the voters registration movements. She marched in Detroit alongside the legendary Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., 06 Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, in the March for Freedom of June 23, 1963. She has received numerous awards, including Council Tributes, Organizer of the Year, and award from the Pontiac Police Department for working to make sure the neighborhoods were stable and safe. Also an award from the Oakland County Board of Commissioners for community safety and activism. She also received an award from Mayor Deirdre Waterman for her work in activism. She also received from the Pontiac School Board for improving the school district and neighborhoods. She wishes for youth to be more active in the communities, and she says this, and I quote, "If it is not Pontiac, then move there. If it is Pontiac, then get active." Before I ask you to put your hands together, I need to introduce you to the second half of the dynamic duo. I'm talking about the other legendary sister. Well, I'm talking about none other than the legendary Miss Jessie Lee Stevens. Miss Stevens, and I need you to go and put your hands together, as she received the Reverend Milton Henry Activism Trailblazer Award. This accolade distinguishes Mrs. Stevens' exceptional flair and unyielding passion to create a life-changing impact on the multitude of people in Pontiac. She does this through her tireless work ethic and an unyielding passion and drive to touch the lives of so many that are in need. She has a passion to push and match people with resources and the dire need of distributing a masterclass in educating our citizens with the thought process of a better life. Jessie Lee Stevens started her life in Alabama, but frequently went back and forth to and from Michigan due to her work and participating in the civil rights movement. During her time in Michigan, she went before the Pontiac School District to help 1,600 students in the district. 1,600 students in the district improve their GPA scores. With her tireless efforts, she provided students with the resources and skills needed to succeed. She helped beautify Jefferson School by participating in gardening efforts and planted flowers around the district to brighten it up and give all students and staff a warm welcome into the schools. Miss Jessie Lee Stevens continued these efforts to clean up and beautify miniature parks within the community. She also worked hard with the city of Pontiac to help improve and better the community. Therefore, it is with the greatest of honor that we celebrate Miss Velma Stevens and Miss Jessie Lee Stevens this evening during our 2022 Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Celebration. You both are truly trailblazers, and we absolutely salute you, queens. Ladies and gentlemen, for your approval, please put your hands together with the biggest applause that you can muster up for the one and only dynamic duo, Miss Velma and Miss Jessie Lee Stevens, two true Pontiac legends. Please join me in welcoming both of the Stevens sisters as they receive their honors. Take it away, Stevens sisters.
Good afternoon, Pontiac. This is Mrs. Stevens, and my name is Jessie Stevens, and I appreciate, Pontiac is a unique city. It's very unique. I didn't think anyone was watching, but you'll be surprised at the people that really watching what you're doing. Because I was so enthused about education, of getting our kids educated. I went to have a talk with the Pontiac School of Pontiac. And then I did my speech, and one of the person out of the audience said, "Mrs. Stevens, why are you pushing so hard and speaking so loud about the Pontiac District, the school. You don't have any kids in Pontiac School District. I said, how many kids is in Pontiac District? They said 1,600. I said, I seen the time we had 2,000. All 1,600 of those kids are my children. Even little Jody down the street, that his parents cannot afford to take him out of the Pontiac School District. The governor gave them to me, whether I want them or not, I'm paying for them. So I advise you, if you're paying for something, get involved. Get involved. It's not what Pontiac can do for you, but what you can do for Pontiac. Thank you.
I'm Velma Stevens, and like Mr. Phillips said, I'm a transplant from Alabama. I said to myself, if I had found a better city to live in, I'd have been there. But Pontiac is the city I chose to live in. And so every ounce of my energy, I was going to apply it to improving the city of Pontiac. I took three main goals was improving our youth center, improving our education system, and to clean our neighborhood up. So this is what we set out to do. And we are still working on it. And it's a job that never ends. Thank you all. And it's been a pleasure. Youth, get involved, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to go ahead and see a prime example of what it would look like inside of one household when you have the love and nurturing support of your parents to go ahead and raise and groom someone for greatness in a whole household dynamic, you just saw a prime example of it. Look at the Stevens sisters. You saw their resumes, you heard them speak, you see exactly why they received this award tonight. But this is what it looks like. So for everybody out there who are looking to go ahead and raise your kids to reach their greatness, to reach their potential, let's go ahead and take a look at that example. And that's why I want you all to go put your hands together one more time for the legendary sister combination of Miss Velma Stevens and Miss Jessie Lee Stevens. True Pontiac legends here. Put your hands together. What I'm going to tell you, you know, they always say you want to go ahead and leave the best for last, but I'm not going to lie to you. All 11 of these individuals this evening is absolute greatness. So, and they all match up. So when I say match up, I'm talking about putting together a dream team. And I'm going to let you know right now, I challenge anyone. I don't care what city you're from. You could be in Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, New York. I want you to go ahead and put your 11 best up against the 11 best that I just put out there this evening. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm putting my 11 up against any one of y'all. And I guarantee you, Pontiac is going to go ahead and rise and shine. And we're going to go ahead and take it to the top of it all. Because that's what cream does in coffee. Rise to it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring you to our last awardee for this evening. I am talking about none other than the one, the only Mr. Kenny Core. Let it be known that tonight, Pontiac, it is with the greatest pleasure that we join in with this community to go ahead and show our appreciation to the one and only legendary Mr. Kenny Core as it receives the Reverend Milton Henry Activism Trailblazer Award. This accolade distinguishes Mr. Core's exceptional flair and unyielding passion to create a life-changing impact on thousands of children in Pontiac through his keep it raw and real mentality and a tenacious passion and drive to touch the lives of thousands of young minds that he has navigated towards their purpose and greatness. Mr. Kenny Core has been a leader in the Pontiac community, with one such contribution being the Village Basketball Camp, held yearly for local youth at the Old Michigan School of the Arts. Mr. Core helped organize the camp over 20 years ago. Campers learned basic basketball skills and teamwork, as well as the importance of academic achievement. With him, failure is definitely not an option. Mr. Kenny Core's poetry work throughout the community has also helped inspire many of those around him to express themselves in the words of the dynamic Maya Angelou. Poetry can tell us what human beings are. It can tell us why we stumble and fall and how miraculously we can stand up. Mr. Core exemplified these words and helped bring joy to the Pontiac community through his work. Therefore, it is with the greatest of honor that we celebrate this evening Mr. Kenny Core, our 2022 Pontiac Legend and Trailblazer Black History Celebration awardee. You are truly a trailblazer, and we absolutely salute you, Mr. Core. Ladies and gentlemen, for your approval, I ask that you please put your hands together one more time for the ground-shattering Mr. Kenny Core, a true Pontiac legend. Please welcome Mr. Core as he receives his honor. Take it away, Mr. Core.
Well, thank you very much, Brother Phillips. It's indeed an honor. I'm sitting here kind of shaking now because very rarely do you receive an award for your accomplishments. And I got a special place for it in the house. But without the help of the community, I wouldn't have achieved anything, you know. So I want to start with that. And it was an honor working with the young kids in the Pontiac community, and we need to do more of that. It's just, words cannot describe how I feel right now. I kind of got the shakes, you know, but it's a wonderful feeling to be honored. Being 72 on my next birthday, if the Lord says the same. You know, it's getting later in life. When you think of 70, that's 70 years. So I'm getting a bonus. And so, again, I want to thank everybody involved in picking me for this award. And thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to go ahead and understand what you just saw this evening. You just saw the best of the best. I'm talking about the class of 2022 Legends and Trailblazers. I mean, this is what Pontiac needs to be so much more about. Celebrating each other, making sure our history is absolutely preserved. And you saw some of the best that we had to offer. And I'm talking about all the way down the line, musical, educational, activism, from a clergy standpoint. We saw it from a political standpoint. This has been what this night should be about. Making sure that we celebrate, and celebrate each other to no end. And I'm telling you, and like the legendary Ronnie McNair said from the famous Four Tops, I'm from Pontiac. And that's what I'm talking about. And say that and sing it proud. But Pontiac, I'm glad that you were able to go ahead and tune in this evening to go ahead and share this with us. But, you know, it only makes it right that we go ahead and understand the magnitude of how history touches all generations. And so that's why we would be remiss if we didn't take this time to go ahead and actually bring one of our young our Gen X's, to go ahead and come and give you a few words to let you know exactly how important history, African American history and Pontiac history is to her, as well as all of her peers, but also to go ahead and give you a good insight and a historical snapshot of what African American history should be for us. So it's with the greatest of honor, and without further ado, I'm about to bring someone to your computer this evening, and this is someone I'm absolutely fond of, because I'll call her my baby girl, because that's exactly what she is. She's like a child, she's like a daughter to me. But I'm going to go ahead and bring to you next the president of the Ascend Foundation Truth Youth Coalition, a young lady who is going to go ahead and give you a few words to let you know exactly what historic preservation looks like, and also to make sure that you all understand that our younger generation is what this is all about, and we got to go ahead and make sure their voice counts. So without further ado, I'm going to bring to you the one, the only, Miss Lauren McNair. Take it away, baby girl.
I want to start out by thanking everyone so much for the opportunity to be a part of a program that is so powerful, a program that talks about our Pontiac history and heritage. To understand our historical value is priceless, and in my opinion, we're detached from that. To understand our lineage, is something that I think everybody needs to know. And we've been through the hardest of times, but it was these hard times that brought together many powerful leaders. Leaders like Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the legendary Malcolm X, Diane Nash, the incomparable Dorothy Heights, Medgar Evers, the seismic Ashada Shakur, and Fannie Lou Hamer, just to name a few. And it brought together many powerful organizations like the SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and SNCC, Southern Nonviolence Coordinating Committee, as well as the Freedom Riders, which are kids my age. When they tried to peacefully protest, they were brutally beaten with chains, whips, and bats. They would get shot, and sometimes they would even be set on fire. But they didn't stop, and they didn't give up. In 1896, we had historical landmark court cases like Plessy versus Ferguson to end Jim Crow. And in 1954, we had Brown versus the Board of Education to end segregation in schools and give African Americans the right to equal education. But with all this sacrifice and all these men and women who gave their lives for us, when you look around at 2022, you'll see that a lot still hasn't changed. When I look at this day and age, I'm scared of how others might view me just because of the color of my skin tone. But I'm proud of who I am, and I wouldn't change a thing about myself because we come from greatness.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you we got greatness here in this community. I told you we got greatness here in Pontiac, and I'm talking about young greatness. They say you gauge your community on two things: how you treat your senior citizens and how you go ahead and encourage your youth. And you just saw one of our best, the creme de la creme. And let me give you a news flash too, Pontiac. You know, time and time again, I'm tired of looking on social media and in the news, and every time you turn around, they're trying to go ahead and depict our children as being such these negative influences out here, or giving negative impacts. But you just got an opportunity to go ahead and see come across your computer screen one of the best of the best. This is a young lady who I've had since she was 11 years old, and she has been rolling up her sleeves and grinding and investing in her community from a community service aspect, and also too, she just gave you a good account of what African American history means to her and the importance of making sure that we preserve it and also pass it along so that it doesn't die. So for all of that being put on the table, I want you to go ahead and do me the greatest favor and put your hands together right where you are for the one and only Miss Lauren McNair. And I'm absolutely proud of her. And I'm not saying that because it's my baby girl. I'm saying it because she's going to be the future politician. She's going to be the future doctor, lawyer, and anything that comes in between that she decides she wants to go ahead and be. And she's going to be ours too. So Pontiac, stand up and put your hands together one more time for Lauren McNair. But we have come to this point in the program where I just want to thank everybody so much for tuning in this evening. You know, we wanted to go ahead and make sure we gave you something special. So, and hopefully we did not disappoint. But before we go ahead and slide off, I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to go ahead and bring someone to the computer this evening. Someone who's been rolling up their sleeves. I mean, a true warrior for this community of Pontiac. And she's been doing it on the state level. I'm talking about fighting to make sure that we're going to get certain policies that are going to be passed to go ahead and make sure the community of Pontiac is going to be good. Making sure we're getting the financial allotments that we need to go ahead and be able to flourish in a multitude of different programs and initiatives. But this woman is an absolute warrior, and she loves this community. So it's with the greatest of honor that I now bring to this computer screen the one and only, and I do mean the one and only, State Representative Brenda Carter. State Representative Brenda Carter, please take it away and welcome.
Thank you, Kano. And thank you, everyone, for attending our presentation tonight. It's with great honor that I get to close this program out. Great honor and great dignity, because I'm a product of legends. There has only been 5 people to grace the presence of the House of Representatives. There has been no one from Pontiac to go in the Senate, and no one from Pontiac to go to Congress. But 5 people from Pontiac, 5 black people from Pontiac, entered into and held with great esteem the title of State Representative. Let me talk about Charlie Harrison Jr. Charlie Harrison Jr. sat in the House for 10 sessions. That's 20 years. That was back before the days of term limits. And from what I understand, he was a force to reckon with. And then after Charlie Harrison became the great Hubert Price. Everybody that knew Hubert knew that he was a fighter for Pontiac. He fought for Pontiac till the day he died. He was instrumental in helping us pass that sinking fund millage that now has preserved our precious Pontiac High School. How could I not talk about Clarence E. Phillips? This man went to Lansing and he fought hard for Pontiac. He fought with passion. I remember when we brought the Husky Brigade up to Lansing, and he was so proud to have them stand right there in the chamber as we all took a picture. Our young people who are in their 30s now, 30s and 40s, these robotics champions that was welcomed by Clarence E. Phillips. He loved Pontiac so much that he returned back to Pontiac to serve as Pontiac's mayor. And last but not least, but not last, because there's one after him, there is Hayes Jones. Did you know that Hayes Jones was a gold medal Olympian? Oh my God, this is the kind of product that comes out of Pontiac. And then there was one other person to go into the House of Representatives. And she is the first woman, not the first black woman, but the first woman to ever serve in House District 29, and that is me. So what I want everybody to realize about Pontiac, this greatness comes from Pontiac. You witnessed it this evening with all the wonderful people that we selected to honor this year. All of the people have 35 years plus serving Pontiac and making sure that people like me could become a state representative. So thank you so very much for coming out this evening. Thank you for enjoying everything we presented to you in our second annual Legend and Trailblazers Awards. See you next year.
I want to say thank you once again, State Representative Carter, for not only everything you're doing in Lansing, but thank you so much for joining in with us and understanding the importance of putting on programs like you saw this evening, everybody out there across Facebook and across YouTube. Once again, my name is Kano Phillips on behalf of myself and the Ascend Foundation and Bill Maxie and ACES Veteran Services, as well as State Representative Brenda Carter. We want to thank all of you for joining in this evening for our second annual Pontiac Legends and Trailblazers Black History Virtual Celebration. And also, too, I want to take one more time and an opportunity for all of us to applaud and say thank you and congratulations to our 11 award recipients this evening. This has been one incredible night, and that's what we're looking for, and that's what we're looking to continue to do, to provide absolute excellence and making sure that we're going to preserve Pontiac history and legacy. And it happened this evening with all of you. And by the way, when I say all of you, this does not work with all of you actually tuning in this evening. So I'd like to thank every last one of you. From what I was just told from a number standpoint, we just went over 3,000 people that actually viewed this evening. That is most definitely incredible. And that's letting us know that still Black history does count and people want to go ahead and see, and Pontiac legacy does count in the eyes and minds of so many people. So I will be remiss if I didn't say thank you to all of you, but also I want to go and take this opportunity to go ahead and thank all of our clergy that tuned in this evening. I want to thank all of our political figures that tuned in this evening. And I also want to go and thank the man himself and the organization that put on this production you saw this evening. I'm talking about none other than F&G Media Arts, Mr. Sante Lucas. Thank you so much for the incredible work you always continuously do for the Ascend Foundation. So with all of that being said, Pontiac, I want to once again say thank you so much for tuning in. I want you to have a beautiful evening. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and everyone have a blessed start to your week. Take care, and I'll see you for the next event.
You may shoot me with your words, You may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like life, I'll rise.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war, that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Soul has no color, no shape, no form. You have the power to change perception, to inspire and empower, and to show people how to embrace their complications and see the flaws and the true beauty and strength that's inside all of us.
That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for.
For those who marched, and for those who prayed, and for those who sang and bled, and for those who believed, and for those who died, I stand as 10,000 to the 10th power.